This is the New Balance Sydney sneaker collection, so Rebel V4. And it's a silhouette that was released in 2024. And it's a collaboration between Sydney, I can hopefully pronounce it right, McLaughlin-Jerome. And she is a Olympic gold medal winner and runs 400 meters. And so this is a collab with her. And there's also a clothing collection, and I believe a New Balance 9060 as well. And the Rebel V4 is pretty much a running sneaker, and for performance wear, and it's a cool looking sneaker in that respect. And like I said, it's newly released and it's meant for predominantly running. And in terms of the details, this has a linen, Moonrock and white colorway, so it's quite sort of neutral in terms of its colorway, and one of those ones that's just easy to wear. That's one of the reasons why it grabbed me, because I've seen some of the other Rebel V4s, which is quite sort of vibrant, and there's also a blue color version that came out, which is like a navy color. But this one's quite cool, but it's a women's only version. And the technology within this particular sneaker, and that's what the sneaker is made for, is got Fuelcell in there. And the Fuelcell technology on this one is more on the softer side, and feels quite squishy to the touch. And it's one of those ones where it still feels quite nice on feet. And with the Fuelcell, it gives you that sort of lift off as well. The way the sneaker's built, you can sort of see it's got that curvature going on at the forefoot. So as you sort of move, it propels you forward, and that's what the Fuelcell technology is known for. And I think it works well in pretty much all of the New Balance sneakers. And it also has what they're calling a Fantomfit upper. I think they used this on a couple of different trainers in the past, but they've used it in this new Rebel V4 as well. And it's got this kind of vinyl-y sort of material. It's quite sort of scratchy, and then also the lace loops as well. They sort of feel like they're reinforced, so that's what I imagine the Fantomfit's for. And it kind of has that sort of locked-in feeling as well, so almost sort of sock-like type vibe to it, but it's more, like I say, a vinyl type, nylon type material. And like I say, it's made up of pretty much synthetic and mesh materials in terms of its upper, just to keep it sort of lightweight. And the price on these is £140. So with the comfort and sizing, I think these are on the medium side. They feel soft, but when you kind of sort of see them now, they don't squish too much. So I would say they're more medium, but they do have a squishy feel when you have them on foot, similar to the 1080. And they also have really good neutral support around the arch, because obviously it's being a runner, it does feel nice on foot, and it does give you that sort of supportive sort of structure, especially sort of inside there. So it works well in that respect. And there's no wearing time with these, like I said, because of the upper being this sort of flexible material, even though it's sort of this nylon material, it's quite sort of cheaper, on the cheaper side. It does feel quite sort of easy to wear, and you also have this gusseted tongue that kind of keeps you sort of locked in place. And the material on the tongue feels nice as well, and just quite sort of easy and lightweight. And true to size works for these. I went true to size, and I think with runners in general, especially if you're using them for running, I think true to size does work. I have a wide foot, but I think the silhouette itself is quite sort of, like I said, forgiving, because it pulls you, it molds around your foot to a certain extent, so I think it feels nice on foot. And in my opinion, I think the traction is okay on these. Like you can sort of see here, it's sort of missing, obviously it's intentional, it's missing the traction on the back here. And I'm not sure how much this works, in all honesty, and whether that sort of has any sort of wear on it, I suppose. And the material feels different here versus what's on here. This is more sort of like pod-like traction that's been sort of added on afterwards to the outsole. Same with here and same with here. It looks cool, but I'm not sure in terms of the durability. But obviously the forefoot very much got a lot of grip. It's just the back that I'll be a bit worried about. With the look and style, the reason why I was attracted to this is basically because it's got like a neutral colourway, and it's one of those ones where it's just sort of an easy wear. And even though it's a women's colourway, I still think pretty much anyone can sort of pull this off. So like I said, it's just quite sort of neutral, and it's got almost sort of the beigey brown type colours on it. And the sneaker's got that sort of chunky look to it, so similar to a New Balance 1080, it's got that chunky vibe, and also to the Nike Invincible Run 3. And with this one, it's one of those ones, if you're using it for running, it's pretty much for all seasons really. You're not going to get too much warmth. I think the 1080s have got better padding inside it, the V13, and you know, the overall sort of materials and the upper, but obviously you're paying a premium for that one versus this. But I think the midsole is probably nicer on this Fuelcell version, this Rebel V4 version. And it's just a good one to rock casually. This one, I think, because the colours are sort of understated, it's easy to wear these casually, and you know, with joggers and shorts and things like that. But obviously, using it for active lifestyle, i.e. running, it's good to go for that as well. And it comes with sort of these sort of sail laces, but you could also put in grey and black and white. I think they all kind of would work on this particular sneaker. So with the final thoughts, I like the fact that they're really lightweight. They feel very lightweight in hand. There's not much weight to them at all, even though the midsole is quite sort of thick and chunky. And they are comfortable on foot. I think my only concern would be the nylon material on the upper and how much that feels comfortable when you're sort of wearing them day in, day out, especially for running, and whether you get any kind of rubbing going on. Sometimes I feel it with this type of material, so but obviously I'm not running these. And I like the super soft midsole. It's not like super soft, but I feel, you know, it's one of those ones where when you have it on foot, it does feel really nice and it's quite sort of squishy. With the cons, the traction on the outsole, that's my only sort of one of my concerns, is that the outsole on the back anyway doesn't feel like there's not much grip going on. But apart from, you know, the forefoot looks like it's got a lot of grip on there, so I don't know how that would work in practice and over time. And just the upper materials feel cheap, in my opinion. I'm just not a fan of this type of material and how long and the durability of that, in all honesty. And with the ratings, I give the look and style of it a 5 out of 5. I think they've done a really good job, especially for the price range that they're putting it at. It looks really cool and quite sort of unique and sleek at the same time, even though it's a chunky sneaker. And the comfort, I'm going to give it a 5. I feel like when you're comparing this to, say, the 1080 V13, I think both of them are quite sort of similar feeling. This one has a bit more stability on it, I would say, because it's the base on the back just feels a bit wider and a bit more easy to wear. It's a difficult one to choose over that on the 1080 V13. I think if I was to go for it, I'd probably go for this one, especially if I'm using them for running, because they tend to sort of wear out quickly anyway with running shoes. So I would still go for this one and save £50, and especially I've seen a couple here and there in different colours on sale with like 10-15% off. And with the quality, I give that a 4. I think, like I say, it's just mainly the upper for me. It's just I'm not so certain about that, and also the traction on the outsole. But other than that, I think it's a really well constructed sneaker. And the pricing, I think they've hit the nail on the head with this. They haven't been too greedy. £140, I think it's a good buy, especially if you're using it for running, because you don't want to sort of pay over the odds. And if you're comparing this to, say, I don't know, like a Pegasus sneaker, I'd much rather have this pair over that, which is a similar price range. And I think the Pegasus retails for about £130, and I'd rather pay the £10 extra and get a pair of the Rebel V4s. And that's why overall I give it a score of 5 out of 5. It's a really nice, sneaker. I still think the Invincible Run 3 is the ultimate running sneaker, in my opinion, for, if you're using it for mainly sort of recreational running, not for professional running. But however, this Rebel V4 comes very, very close, and I think this or the 1080 V13, I'd probably pick this and save the £50 in all honesty. But don't think the 1080 V13 is not that nice. It's just the price of it's just a bit high for what you get, because you get a similar type of comfort and feel in a sort of cheaper silhouette in the Rebel V4. But like I said, other than that, I would go for the Invincible Run 3, especially if you can get them on a discount to a similar price as these.